Dear friends, tonight I'm going to discuss with you the story of one of the greatest play written by William Shakespeare. The name of this play is Macbeth, and it is about the story about the background of the Scotland, about the Scottish king Duncan and his sons Malcolm, Dunalbin, Macbeth, his generals as Banco. So the story begins at the place, an open place where a thunder and lightning. There enters the three witches, the three weird sisters. They started to talk about spells. All fear is foul, and foul is fear. Hover through the fog and filthy ear, witches vanish. So the story begins like this: that there was a man in the king's Duncan army. The name of this brave general is Macbeth. He is the hero and protagonist of this play also. So the story sets in the medieval Scotland and partly based on a true historical account. Macbeth charts the bloody rise to power and tragic downfall of the warrior Macbeth. Already a successful soldier in the army of King Duncan, Macbeth is informed by three witches and three weird sisters that he is to become king. As a part of the same prophecy, the witches predict that future Scottish king will be descended not from Macbeth but from his fellow army captain Banco. Although initially prepared to wait for the fate to take its course, Macbeth is stung by ambition and confusion when King Duncan nominates his son Malcolm as his heir. Returning to his castle, Macbeth allows himself to be persuaded and directed by his ambitious wife, who realizes that the regicide, the murder of the king, is the quickest way to achieve the destiny that her husband has been promised. A perfect opportunity presents itself when King Duncan pays a royal visit to Macbeth's castle. At first, Macbeth is both to commit a crime that he knows will invite judgment. If not on this earth, then in heaven. Once more, however, his wife prevails upon him. Following on evening of revelry, Lady Macbeth drugs the guards of the king's bedchamber. Then at a given signal, Macbeth, although filled with misgivings, ascends to the king's room and murders him. While he sleeps, haunted by what he has done, Macbeth is once more reprimanded by his wife, whose inner strength seems only to have been increased by the treacherous killing. Suddenly, both are alarmed by loud knocking at the castle door. When the drunken porter of Macbeth's castle finally responds to the noise, he opens the door. A Macduff, a loyal follower of the king, who has been asked to evoke Duncan in preparation for the return journey. Macbeth indicates the location of king's room, and Macduff discovers the body when the murder is revealed. Macbeth swiftly kills the prime witness, the sleepy guards of the king's bedchamber. The Lady Macbeth faints. The assembled lords of Scotland, including Macbeth, swear to avenge the murder. with suspicious ear, heavy in the ear, suspicion heavy in the ear. The king's two sons fled towards one. The name of one is Donalbain. He fled towards Ireland. The other is Malcolm. He will raise an army in England. Macbeth is duly proclaimed the new king of Scotland. But recalling the witch's second prophecy, he arranged the murder of his fellow soldier Banquo and his son Fleance, both of whom represent a threat to his kingship. According to the witch's prophecy, the hired murderers kill Banquo but mistakenly allow Fleance to escape, the son of Banquo. At a celebratory bouquet that night, Macbeth is thrown into a state of horror when the ghost of murdered Banquo appears to the dining table. Again, his wife tries to strengthen Macbeth, but the strain is clearly beginning to show. The following day, Macbeth returns to the same witches who initially foretell his destiny. This time, the witches not only confirm that his sons of Banquo will rule in Scotland, but they also add a new prophecy. Macbeth will be invincible in battle until the time when the forest of Birnam moves toward his stronghold at Dulcinea, and until he meets an army not born of woman, until he meets an enemy not born of woman. Dismissing both of these predictions as nonsense, Macbeth prepares for invasion. When he's told that Macduff, his descendant, deserted him, Macbeth begins to final stage of his tragic descent. His first move is in the destruction of Macduff's wife and children. In England, Macduff arrives the news at the very moment that he swears his allegiance to the young Malcolm. Malcolm persuades him that the murder of his family should act as the spur of revenge. Meanwhile, in Scotland, Lady Macbeth has been taken ill. She walks in her sleep and seems to recall in a fragmentary memoirs the detail of the murder. Now in the serious alternating scene, the action of play moves rapidly towards the advancing army of Malcolm and the defensive preparation of Macbeth. When Malcolm's army disguise themselves with the sawn-off branches, Macbeth sees what appears to be wood moving towards the stronghold at Dulcinea. When he finally meets Macduff in single combat, his sworn enemy reveals that he came into the world by caesarean section. He was not, precisely speaking, born of woman. On hearing this news, Macbeth rejects one final time the witch's prophecy. With a loud cry, he launches himself at Macduff and is slain in the final scene. Malcolm is crowned as the new king of Scotland, to the acclaim of all. The character involved in this plays Macbeth, the captain in Duncan's army, later the Thane, Lord of Glamis and Cawdor, and when the three witches predict that he will one day be king of Scotland. He takes his fate into his own hand, allowing the ambition that of his wife to overcome his better judgment. Lady Macbeth the devilish wife of Macbeth, whose ambition helps to drive her husband toward the desperate act of murder. Her husband's cruelty and her own guilt recoil on her, sending her into the madness from which she never recovered. Banquo, another character, a fellow captain and companion of Macbeth. Duncan, the King of Scotland, his untimely death. The Donalbain and Malcolm, Duncan's two sons. The porter, the old man, the doctor, the witches, the three agents of fate who reveals the truth to Macbeth and Banquo, later to confirm the downfall and tragic destination of the tyrannical Macbeth. The type of this is a play. The genre of this play it is a drama, tragedy, published in 1605. Setting of this play is Scotland. Major thematic topics is fall of man, gender roles, fortune, fate, free will, kingship, natural order, ambition, love of self. Motive of this play is revenge, sanity, and prophecy. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you will enjoy this video and you will also enjoy it more when you read this original play written by William Shakespeare.